Welcome all you punks. I am the arsonist CJ Metal, and today I'm setting fire to Arson Anthem by Arson Anthem. Released all the way back in 2008, Arson Anthem is actually a side project featuring Phil Anselmo of Pantera, Mike Williams of I Hate God, and Hank Williams III. There's no relation between the two Williams. However, there is another guy by the name of Colin Yeo, I believe is how you say it. But I guess he's like a session player or something because he has really no other history or anything like that. I actually did not know that these guys were in this band until I looked up the lineup after I finished it. Another surprise is the fact that this is actually a punk EP. We all know Phil did groove metal with Pantera, Mike does sludge doom metal, and this Hank Williams III guy, who I haven't heard of, but that's besides the point, he does what's referred to as cowpunk. I guess is a subgenre of punk that mixes blues, folk, and country with punk. I personally never knew that was a thing. I mean, he does also play regular punk, and he also made a stoner doom album, so this guy's pretty versatile. So it's interesting to see these three people coming together into one group. I am surprised, though, that these guys took the punk route. I mean, technically they're labeled as hardcore punk crossover thrash metal, but there's barely any thrash metal. It's mainly just punk and crossover. Well, I mean, now that I think about it, both Phil and Mike have been in the sludge metal scene, and we all know that sludge metal is just a mix of hardcore punk and doom metal, so going the punk direction isn't too far-fetched. As mentioned before, this is a very punk-friendly EP. Mike has some great hardcore vocals. Phil cranks out some hardcore DB punk riffs. Yeah, he's actually playing guitar on here. I probably should have mentioned that before. Collins fills out the low end on bass, and Hank bashes on drums, and he's quite badass on drums, I must admit. The music is just full of energy and carries that punk attitude of do it yourself and fuck everyone. I mean, there is a few headbanging moments on here and a few slower sections too. When I was listening to it, I was kind of like, there's one section in particular, I can't remember which song, but it was just like, I was thinking, oh, this is kind of sludgy or doomy or whatever you want to call it. So I'm sure that was probably thrown in there just to help break up the fast-paced tempo. Now, the production on here isn't perfect. In fact, it's a little more on the lo-fi end. I think it works for the band quite well. So this is overall is a fun, high energy. It's only 11 minutes, and I'm sure anyone who's into punk or into fast, bashing, chaotic music will absolutely adore this EP. I actually really enjoyed this EP quite a bit, so I have to say it was a great one. And once I actually found out who was behind the band, it made a lot more sense as to why the music was so good. I mean, you have all these highly experienced musicians all in the same band, so of course the music's going to be good. And if this EP isn't good enough for you, well, they also released an album in 2010. If you want more of this kind of music, then you could also check out, I believe it was Hell Bastard and Hell Crush, I believe with a K. I think they also play a similar style to these guys as well. So if you want more like stuff like this, be sure to also check them out too. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you tell a friend to do the same. And as always, I will see you at the next review.